You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Snooki and Jwoww After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Snooki and Jwoww After Show.
I don't want no scrub. The scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
Hey guys, I'm Ashley. I'm hosting today for Snooki and Jwoww, and I'm here with the awesome, fabulous.
What's up, guys? I'm Charlotte Broadbent. Happy to be back for another week of Snooki and Jwoww.
Yeah, episode 7, and we played No Scrubs because really, Roger and Jionni, they're no scrubs. They're really good guys.
They're good ones. They're keepers.
Yeah, they're quirky. They got their, unique abilities, and they're a little different, but they're good guys.
Yeah.
We don't want no scrubs. Who the hell wants a scrub?
Right.
Not me. Fuck that.
Steven does. No, they're good guys. They mean well.
Yeah.
They do.
They mean well. Is that really enough though? No, they're super sweet. I just think they're like, for people that, how long have Jenni and Roger been together? I would say at least a few years, right?
Yeah, I would say, they got together on Jersey Shore during the
so it's not
filming.
like 10
so
years or anything.
I would say about 3 or 4 years. I don't know. If
So I just love
someone's
that.
watching, let us know.
Yeah, I love that they have such a bond already. They're so comfortable with each other. They're talking about gas, and they're talking about, they're already having marital issues, even though they're not married, and they're already talking about they don't even want to have sex anymore, and they're not even engaged. They're not even married.
Like saying, what is that sex? If their sex life isn't very good right now, what's it going to be like in 5 to 10 years when they've been married? And because your sex life, I guess, drops off when you've been together for like 15 years or whatever. But so what's that sex life going to be?
Right.
If it's not good now.
We should discuss that first. I know we were going to discuss the babies, but we're already in it.
Yeah.
May as well just go into it. When you're feeling like your significant other no longer wants to have sex with you and no longer really wants to be, I believe she wants him, but she wants him in a more romantic way. But still, that's got to be kind of hard for a guy to feel like your girl doesn't want to have sex with you, regardless of, do you think that it's like, if in any way...
No, I totally agree. I think they should be,
him.
They should be in kind of the stage they're engaged where they can't keep their hands off each other, and that isn't the case. And I don't really know why that would be.
Right.
Because obviously she obviously has some issue with, and maybe it's just because Roger wants to bang,
No, I know.
not make love.
She bangs. Remember that guy? What was his name? The guy from American Idol. She bangs.
Will Hung.
She bangs.
Will Hung.
Oh, Will, where are you? Sexy man, I miss you.
Oh, man.
Poor guy. I hope he's getting it on with somebody. He deserves it. He's a good guy.
I hope if he
To
gets a
that song.
fiance, his fiance actually wants to sleep with him.
Right. I know.
It baffles me. You see these a good-looking couple, and she apparently has no sexual attraction towards him at all. When they have all this money, they could be like, okay, well, let's try to rekindle it by going somewhere exotic. And no, they decide to build a fence with their other married couple that just makes them realize how unhappy they are because they are happy.
But
is it
and they
because of
have
the
a
show?
kid, and
Is it put on for the show? Because I really feel like it's real.
I think it's real too. That's one thing about this reality show. Everything is kind of real. Like the way they are with each other, they're so open. And you're so right. Why don't they go Hawaii or
Because they're in the middle of taping.
somewhere really beautiful where they can, that would make a fun episode, a trip to Hawaii.
I think they need this.
Or just somewhere where they can go spend some romantic time together and really reconnect, because obviously there's something that they are disconnected. Something's going on. The spark has been lost. Or even because you would think Roger would do something. Well, I remember one episode where this must have been last season, all the rose petals on the floor of the bedroom, and he did make an effort. But I feel like when they have so many issues in the bedroom, he should be doing more things like that to try and rekindle and get a flame going.
See, I don't think he is. I think it's super sexy and such a turn on when a guy does want you. Even if he wants you in a way that's not the way that she wants, which is very romantic. I think the fact that he just wants her and he loves her and he's always talking about how beautiful she is and sexy she is. And I think that's a huge turn on. That's something that's like, okay, well, now I definitely... You want the guy to want you. You never want... I mean, obviously, you want to chase the guy and you don't want him to want you too much where it's creepy and you're like, oh, God, you're such a freaking nuisance.
But when you've been together for so long, it's not going to come off creepy. That
right,
you know?
Right. And, and so for that, it's like, I would be so flattered. I'd be like, oh, my God, it's just...
Right, he still
I don't
wants
know.
me.
But I think that from seeing it from the outside, obviously, that's how we see it. But from the inside, I'm wondering, it's just... It has to really be bothering her, but he he's so romantic with the baby. Like, I feel like it's such a sexy thing when you see a guy with like loving like children, and they're sweet to kids and to animals. That is because you look at them and obviously it's corny, but you look at them and you think, oh, he'd make such a good dad, or someday, like they think all these, just like we fantasize about our weddings. We obviously fantasize about having kids, and a man that hates kids or that's like, ugh, kids, they suck. Like you almost feel like, ugh, who are you? I don't want to marry you. So I don't know why she doesn't see him in a romantic way. Just from that sense, he was so caring to Lorenzo.
What it seems like to me is, as the guy speaking, us guys are simple creatures. If we find someone we like, we'll stick with them. Yeah, we'll stick with them. I mean, we don't really we don't go to that thing where we look towards like, oh, it could be this, it could be this, could be this. I'm not getting this out of the relationship. We look at the good things and we're like, oh, well, this is pretty good.
That is true.
But then you look at Jwoww. I mean, not to be criticizing women at all. Like I don't mean it that way. If you take it that way. It's just women do have that. They have like the stages where at some point in their life they want the bad guy. At some point in their life they want the muscular jock guy. It seems like she was with him in that stage, and she's just staying with him out of convenience now because she's kind of slowly realizing she wants someone else. Like she wants a different personality type, and he still loves her because he's so simple. But she's kind of like, you know what?
She's complicating things.
I know. It's like I know everything about this guy. I don't really want to dump this guy, but I don't really want to have sex with him anymore. I've paid my dues. I don't really want to do this anymore. Like I kind of want someone who interests me. Because, there comes a point where you know everything about another person, and you either love them unconditionally because of that, or then it's time to find somebody else, because if you marry them, you're just going to be unhappy.
She's complicating things. You're so right. You're so right.
So right. Like that's such a different
And I don't want to be a traitor to our vaginas, but I'm just saying, but I get it. I understand. We are complicated. We make things so much more complicated. We have so many things, and I have a lot more guy friends, I think, than I have girlfriends, because I get it. Like guys are just simple. They just,
so much more simple.
It's so dramatic. Like I don't know if you deal with this with girls, like your friends, but I have so many friends that they'll call me and they'll be like, oh, blah blah blah, I like this guy, but oh, now he hasn't called me, and I don't know, should I text him? Should I not text him? Oh, he texted me, and now I'm sick of him. Oh, he's annoying. Oh, but it's never perfect. It's never. We always strive for something, and then when we get it, we don't really want it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's our hormones or what, but listen, I love my female body. I love being a girl, but I'm on your side on that one.
I totally
get it.
I totally agree too. I think that, and there is that kind of thing. The girl wants the bad guy, and then Roger's not really the bad guy anymore because he treats her really well. He's nice to her.
You just nailed it. He's not the bad guy.
He's not the guy that she liked him when he was kind of the muscular, like bad boy at the shore, where he's not that anymore. He's like the one that wants babies. He's good with the kid, with Lorenzo. Sorry, I shouldn't say the kid.
Right.
He's good with Lorenzo. He's going to make a really good husband, and maybe that turns her off a little bit because she isn't kind of an edgy girl. She she wants the bad guy,
But does she? Because she wants to be romantic. The whole thing is that she wants him to be emotional, and she wants to, as they made fun, make love. I mean, they were saying, who makes love? What the heck is make love? I mean, that's so creepy.
Oh, I think that's sad that people don't like.
I know, but it's the same. Sex is sex. What is the difference between sex and making love? It's the same physical actions. Right, you're
Yes.
making out more, whatever. You're kissing, you're talking.
And when you're in that
you're
process
whispering.
of making a baby, and when you're
Yeah.
that intimate, and I think that is kind of, I don't
The
know.
difference
making
between
love-
sex and making love is whether you want to deal with the person afterwards or not.
Totally.
Sex is
Really?
But I think you can have
No,
like
yeah.
the just
Yeah, but there's
sex when
guys that
you're-
will make love with a girl just because they want to get the girl to have sex with them. So they'll be all like lovey-dovey, and then the next day they don't call the girl.
well, then to them
Is
it
that-
was just sex, but
Right.
that
yeah,
wasn't
but
making love.
to the yeah.
So you're saying that making love is in itself like its own entity where, okay, that's established as making love. You guys both said I love you, you kissed, you hugged during sex
I think it's
versus
the
just
passion.
bang, bang, bang. Like,
I just think it's the passion. I mean, you can still have just sex and bang when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
But making love and really being intimate and just being close, it's a different
I think we
kind
need to
of.
play some what's that song that everybody plays when they're like in that romantic, what's that song?
Let's get it on.
I'm sorry. I would laugh my freaking ass off if a guy was like playing some music, corny music, and he had like roses everywhere.
See,
He's
that's what Jenny wants.
I'm like, am I like in an ad for deodorant?
But
commercial? What
that's
is
what's
this?
so absurd about what they're saying is
Right.
that's why they're laughing at saying making love. It's because you don't go out with someone and say, hey, let's make love, because it's not a thing you
Right.
do. It's
But
something that
right, but you don't say, hey, let's have sex.
I mean,
either.
when
You
you're dating
just do
someone,
it.
sometimes you do. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
like what I'm saying is make love is usually like in the past tense, like, oh, that, like, afterwards. You're like, oh, we made love.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying
Like-
okay.
Because like you don't
say
plan
it.
to make
Right,
love.
right.
You have
Okay,
sex
at
and it turns out to
9:30,
have been made
we will,
love.
Yes,
we
you're
will make
so
love
right, yeah.
right now. Ready?
was-
Make love with me.
That's
I'm
only if you're
waiting.
Latin. Like, we will
Make love with me.
Well, it's like
Maria.
Kiss in my neck. I mean, so is it hickeys? Hickeys, would you say those are in the make love category?
No
Okay.
way. No way.
I just feel like
Do
making
you
love
think
is
that?
for old people that are so slow that they have to make everything romantic. It's like, oh, and they're like trying to do everything so slow. So it's like, let's just pretend this is passionate because I can't get my thing in, the
if
right
that's
spot
the case,
right now.
turtles have never fucked. They only make love. Oh, these turtles are so romantic. Look at the way they make love.
I could picture very old people, because I believe very old people still have sex, but they can't have sex fast. They can't like bend. Let me bend you down
We're
quickly.
way
She's
off top. Let's
96.
get
She's got
back
a broken hip. You can't bend her down. You have to have
Ew.
sex
Oh my
in one
God.
way. So I feel like make love when you're 90 because you have no other
No,
choice.
I mean, oh my God, if you're still having sex when you're 90 years old,
I hope you're having sex when you're 90. That would suck. You're old. You're wearing diapers. You have a broken hip, and you can't even have sex. What's the point of living? You have no teeth. You can't chew. You can't smell. I mean, you can't hear. You can't see.
okay.
At least you can feel.
Well, I don't think Roger and Jenny will be having sex when they're 90
Well, anyway.
at all.
I think
If they're not
that-
even having sex
I don't even-
now.
Right. And I just believe that he's romantic in his own way. I think it's so sexy that he didn't make a joke out of. I really thought from the previews last week he was going to make a big joke out of taking care of Lorenzo and the whole babysitting thing. He took it so
Yeah, he
serious.
did. He
I
did.
loved that.
Props to him.
Yeah, and he should have
Yeah.
got some credit for that. He should have got at least a blowjob for that. Right? I mean, I felt bad, poor guys.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's just struggling. I totally agree with you, Steven. I think she's struggling she's obviously not that sexually attracted to him anymore.
You think so?
See, I think, yeah, because otherwise, whether he wants to have sex or make love or whatever, if she was sexually attracted to him, she would want to have sex with him all the time. And their sex life seems to be non-existent. And if you're, like you said earlier, if you're sexually attracted to somebody and you have a man wanting you, why are you saying no?
Well,
Right.
tell me, were they having sex before they were engaged? Like, because if they were and now they're engaged and they're not doing it, then it kind of seems like she's just doesn't really want, she's like kind of weighing it like, do I really want to spend the rest of my life with this guy? Like,
Yeah, we need to do some research and see if
Research. I mean, Google when their last time. Please.
if they would. Well, see,
I'll
I'm
hack
sure
into
there's-
their. I wonder if they have that Ovula app. There's an app now on the iPhone. It's called Ovulia or whatever, and you can track your ovulation, your period, when you had sex. But you can like hack into people's,
are way
so you
too
can
many
know when they've had.
apps.
Yeah, I know.
That's like
So
a little.
I'll hack into
That's a
Jenny's.
little too much.
No, seriously, that's like. But on the other hand, Nicole and Jionni, they're like two best friends. They get along so well, and they obviously have a healthy sex life because they never complain about it. They
And
had
it sounds
a
like
kid,
they're trying to have another kid. Yeah.
and they seem like they, even with the kid, you would think it'd be the opposite.
Uh-huh,
The two without the
totally.
kid be having sex 24/7. They're like, oh, we have this kid, but they're getting it on, and they're letting, they're doing everything in a balanced way. It seems like.
Yeah. And I think going back again to what Steven said, geez, you made some good points.
You did.
It would be so hard for Jenny to exit out of this relationship.
Why?
I mean, when you and your best friend and your partners
I
are
know.
all best friends in a foursome, it's like
That's a good point.
so great. Like, she's never going to have somebody again
You never
that
know.
gets on with Jionni as well, that Snooki likes as much. Like,
Right.
wait, it'll just take a long, long time to get to that stage that they're all at now. If she is having second thoughts, I'm sure that is in her brain somewhere saying, where do I go here?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're happy together. I'm sure they are, but I do think that not having sexual problems, I think that's an issue
Right.
in a relationship.
Well, I mean, I also believe. Sorry, I got a little cough because I realized the clock isn't going, so I have no idea where we're at. Just so you know.
Oh,
just wanted
sorry.
just wanted to let you know, just in case.
That's my bad.
Just so I don't go to like 500 years. And
You're
it's
at
like,
16 minutes.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I don't want to bore anybody. What I was going to say, though, is Jionni and obviously at one point, Jionni and Jenny, Roger and Jenny were having they obviously were having very good sex. They were obviously very attracted to each other. So they need to go back, I think, and look at what was going on in their lives at that point and see if they can figure out what's changed now. Is it because it could be as minor as they've spent too much time together. It could
Stuck
be
in a rut.
Yeah, or it could be that they're too comfortable with each other. It could be that the dogs are just, when you have dogs shitting and peeing all day long in your house, it's like you go
Yeah.
home. The last thing you want to do is be carried up the stairs and go and make love. I mean, you want to clean that stuff. It smells. You're like, oh God, the dogs take them out. It seems like almost like they're too mechanical and they're not spontaneous anymore. I think it'd be a good idea if they did take a trip somewhere.
Yeah. I
Why?
totally
They
agree.
have
I
the
think-
money.
Yeah. I totally think they're stuck in a rut and they just need to do something to break free and just get out of their everyday life and kind of break free and just, I think
Because
taking a
I
trip would
do
help.
also think that he would make an amazing husband, an amazing father. I
agree.
I really do. I think
He was
both of
so
them.
loving.
He is so loving. He loves her to death. And if she is, I hope she sees that because with some people, it doesn't really matter whether it's the guy or the girl. At some point, if you feel like you're not wanted, you're gonna just go the other way. No matter how much you love that person, if you feel like you're just not good enough or you just can't give them what they need, why would you stay?
Yeah.
Your heart's just not gonna. You're not gonna love that person unconditionally anymore because you're gonna be like, I can't give them what they want. I'm trying so hard. I feel like nothing I do is right. I just can't. I don't want to be unloved forever. So
Yeah.
I feel like she needs to see all these amazing qualities. Maybe when she watches the show, she'll see the great qualities in him.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because she's a great girl too. I mean, they would make great parents.
I totally agree. I think she's going to push him away.
Yeah,
And then it's
she's gonna
going to,
put- right.
yeah.
And then she's gonna want him back.
Yeah. And then it's going to be too late by the time she realizes, wow, what did I do? Like, I didn't give him enough attention. Because she's not giving him, a man has needs,
He does,
Like,
yeah.
she's not obviously satisfying his needs.
Right.
And I feel like she's making him more horny the more that she doesn't give it to him.
Well, duh. I mean. Yeah, of course. The poor guy's gonna blow up.
No, he's just gonna end up cheating on her if they get married.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But okay, so speaking of that, quick question: does a guy, obviously he thinks with his heart, but we know he also thinks with his
Dick.
mind and his dick, right? He's got two heads and a heart. So, would a man, if he's deprived sexually for a long period of time, because maybe she's just not into it, she's tired, whatever, she's got a lot going on, could he be lured into something even if he's so in love? Like, can you does the heart and the mind up here just kind of like go away and you're sexual, you're just compelled to have sex
Totally.
with somebody and then you regret it after? Does that happen more often than not? Sorry, I'm looking at you, but she doesn't have a penis.
Things that seem like good ideas when you're aroused can look like terrible ideas after you're done. Like, seriously, like
You have to really think about it.
I mean, yeah, it's best just to, I don't know. if you're really in love with someone, there's going to be a difference, and you're just going to power through. Because if you're really in love with someone, you're not even going to think of it. You're going to be like, hold on out, hold on out.
Right. It's
But,
gonna be
like,
hard, but you're gonna do it.
But like in Gianni's case, when he's with someone he's like his fiance, I mean, he thinks he loves her, but at the same time, there's a limit to that. Like, because
Roger.
if you're in a relationship with someone and they don't want physical contact with you, I mean, eventually your subconscious is going to be like, I mean, you're going to convince yourself slowly, like, look, she doesn't really love you.
Yeah.
So why are you holding yourself back? And then over time, it's just going to become something where he's going to end up cheating on her, and he's not even going to feel like it's a big deal, because as soon as he says someone, his excuse will be, well, you never did it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Totally.
that's, if that happens, that is the first thing he's going to say to her. And
Yeah.
it's
Right.
sad, but it's like, you can't have, I mean, there are people who are going to argue for the asexuality thing, but honestly, if two normal people who are both heterosexuals or both gay, both love each other, whatever, if they have a relationship and there's no like physical contact, and one craves physical contact and the other one doesn't, it's really just a matter of time. I mean,
I
to be
totally
perfectly
agree.
honest, you
Yeah.
need, if somebody in a relationship craves it, you need to have it, or you're not going to be able to have that relationship for a long time.
And then women wonder a lot of times, why did he cheat? But there's such, I hate to say this, but a lot of times women are very cold. Men too. But I'm saying in a lot of cases, at least I've heard from people that I've known growing up and their parents, and a lot of times the women are very cold. They don't give, like you were saying, that men need more than women in terms of like not just love, but they need to feel like affection, they need to feel wanted, they need to feel like, you need to make your man feel like he's a man. You need to compliment them, and it's just a lot, they're needy. They're more needy than we are. In that turn, obviously we're so messed up in so many ways, obviously. We need a lot too, but they also as well, they need it. So.
Well, I definitely think there's some guys that just are born to cheat, no matter what, even if
But do you think it's born
everything's
to
great.
cheat? Like,
I think there's just some men that, and women, that need more. They're never satisfied with
Okay.
what they have. But that's a totally separate subject. But then I also think that when one partner isn't giving what the other partner needs, going to another reality show, Vanderpump Rules, last season, Jax
I was thinking of
cheated
this
on
2 minutes ago, and I didn't want to bring up Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah. No, Jax cheated
so
on
funny.
Stassi because with a stripper in Vegas, and he said it could have been anyone. It could have
Yeah.
been anyone.
Jax
It
and
wasn't
Stassi
even,
were doomed to begin with, though, guys.
Well, yeah,
Seriously,
yeah,
come on.
I know.
yeah. That's totally another subject.
Right.
But it wasn't. It could have been. He would have cheated with any single person. It was the fact that they hadn't had sex for. It was like 3-4 months.
Right.
You know, and it's like a guy went, and I mean, cheating, I think is just terrible. You shouldn't do it. But I think when certain things are like you're pushed to do it, if there's no intimacy, you're stuck in a rut, you know?
Right. No, I understand that. I think a lot of people, men and women, are pushed to it. A lot of women have. Did you ever see the movie Unfaithful with Diane Lane?
No.
It was Diane Lane. It's an amazing movie. It's with Richard Gere as well. Is it Richard Gere? Yeah, it's Richard Gere. And it's she cheats on her husband with this really sexy, amazing guy. The guy that's actually married to Halle Berry now. And she has an affair with him, and it lasts a while. And in one of the scenes, her and her girlfriends are all at lunch, and one of the women says, you know, they never end well. When you cheat, it never ends well. Affairs never end well. And Diane, that was the first time Diane actually thought to herself, oh my gosh, like, you're saying this huge fantasy that I've been sneaking around doing could potentially end bad. And it kind of like clicked. She was like, Jesus, I could lose my husband, I could lose all this.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Because you don't realize when you're in the moment
Yes.
what can actually happen.
Right.
And if you base a relationship off being unfaithful, you're doomed from the start, because you've started a relationship off lies and
right.
off lies. So
Right.
how can you ever trust the new relationship you're, you know?
Well,
Right.
it's not just sex, though. I mean, let's be honest. It's not just sex that will force people to go into other directions.
Oh, yeah.
It's honestly looks as well. I mean, you look at Jionni and Snooki, and it's like they're obviously so in love with each other, and it's nice. Even though you see, I mean, we can comment on Gianni's like gained weight over time, but he's not like morbidly obese or anything. But at the same
You
time,
mean Roger?
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah. No, I know.
Snooki
No,
and-
I just want to make
yeah.
sure that people know, yeah.
But like, that's fine. But at the same time, if you have someone who's not so sure right now, like let's just say if Jwoww like put on 100 pounds, I mean, I think that he'd get out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, because everyone, if somebody respects their body, they have to be with someone who respects their own. Because
Yes.
there's going to be contempt. There's going to be friction.
100%.
Yeah,
There
for
was a
sure.
thing on Bethenny's show the other day, Bethenny's talk show. I don't know the name of the company, but there's a company that provides women that men will call up and hire, not for sex. They are there to not even so much being an escort and companion for dinner, but whatever they are lacking in their relationship and in their marriage, they hire these girls to give them. Whether it's, can I read you the poetry I write? Or can I talk to you about this situation that my wife that tunes me out? Sometimes if they want to have other, it's not sex, but you can do other types of sexual acts, I guess, if you want to. I don't really know how that part goes, but the majority of the women that were on the Bethenny show that work for this company said that they do not even have sex with these men. These men are calling them because they are lacking so many things. They just don't even feel like they're being listened to. So that just shows you how much men, these are like
feel like that's
businessmen.
so sad.
They just want to feel loved. They just want to feel loved. They want to feel for like 10 minutes that someone that they're talking to across the dinner table is listening.
That's
It's
kind
so-
of that's a Japanese culture, though. Just to let you guys know, if anyone's interested in this online, search documentaries of the red light district of Japan, because when you say red light district, you think of sex, but literally, I think the percentage is like 80% of all Japanese people in Japan are single.
Oh, I thought you were going to say go to the red light district. So,
No,
geez.
A lot of
they're
STDs.
single because they don't have time, and to get what they would get from that, they go to the red light district and they talk. It's basically hosting clubs, and it's like the girls will go and talk to guys for like an hour and pay to talk to the guys for an hour. Same with the guys; they'll go and talk to the girls for an hour, just lay with a girl for an hour.
That's
not
why
even have
Japanese
sex.
people are so successful, because they're single.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Sorry,
There's a
but-
huge documentary online about it, and it's one of the most
That is
interesting
awesome.
gonna
I'm
things.
going
watch
to write that
that.
down.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down. No,
I think it's so sad. Like, no wonder the divorce rate's so high.
well, it's
I never
also-
want to get married till I'm like 40.
Well, a lot of people get married too fast, too.
Yeah.
And they rush into it.
Do you think Snooki and Jionni did?
Well, that's a good question we can ask. If you guys want to log on to our iTunes and rate us, comment us, let us know how we're doing, and if you can give us 5 stars, we are definitely interested in seeing what you have to say. We read all the comments, and we try our best to
And we'll
respond to
comment
all
back.
them. Yes, yes. We read all the good ones and the mean ones. We don't care. We want to, we're trying to make it better, so whatever you need to tell us, tell us. We got a thick skin. But yeah, the question is tonight, if you can comment even on our YouTube and let us know, ask the question.
Do you guys think that Snooki and Jionni got married too quickly? The divorce rate is so high these days.
Obviously,
Are
they're not
they-
married yet on the show, but
Yeah.
but
Sorry, yeah. Well,
they're gonna get
just
married.
through. Oh gosh, yeah, they're not even married. Did they get engaged? Because when they've probably been together.
Well, they're planning the wedding.
like
They're going to be
3-4
getting married.
years. Yeah, they're getting married. But do you think that they're getting married young? I mean, they had a child young. How old is Snooki?
Are they rushing into it? Really? Is
Yeah.
the question.
How old?
She's at 27, I believe.
27.
I think she's born
So I guess it's
1987
not
or 1986 or something.
too
1986.
young, but
No, but
I don't
it's
know.
no. I mean, they have a kid, but it's still marriage is something where just because I don't believe that when you have a kid you have to rush into marriage. I know that's the old school way of thinking, don't live in sin, you have your kid, you need to have, but I don't believe that. I believe that it should happen when your relationship calls for it.
Yeah.
When you're at that place where you want to be with that person forever. Otherwise, people rush into it because they get so wrapped up in the wedding, the ring, the glamour.
that's what I think. Everyone is so wrapped up in having a wedding, and do you really need a piece of paper to show that you guys are going to be together forever?
I think the question everybody needs to ask themselves if they're planning on getting married is, would you still get married if you were going to do this in a courthouse and there was no dress and there was no ring and there was nothing?
Yeah.
Just that bond, that uniting of the two. Is that enough? And if it's not, and if you say no, then it means that all the razzle
It's
dazzle
taking
is
over.
taking over. And I'm telling you, girls are getting married way too young, younger and younger. So many people I know from back home, I'm really afraid. I'm like, I hope in 10 years they're still married.
Oh,
Because
so
they're
many people I
25,
know.
24 years old. You're a baby. We're babies.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you're 35, and that means at 35 years old, you'll be married for 10 years. That's a scary, scary thing. Look at, I mean, there's just so many successful people that wait and they give it time. There's no rush. There's no
agree.
rush in marriage. And I think that when you do get married, there's all these pressures that you have all this pressure on you all of a sudden, and you feel like you've lost your freedom. You can still be with somebody and not be married.
I feel like as soon as people get married, a guy literally feels like they have a ball and chain on their ankle now. I feel like something switches off in their head, and they're like, they freak out.
But do you think it's also because the women start to change and they start acting more dominant and more get this done, take the trash out, do this, more matronly. I hate that word, but more like motherly and less wifey.
Maybe I don't know. That's a good question. I think too many people rush into marriage and just see it as something that has to be done to prove that they love each other. Does that prove that you guys love each other? I don't know.
I'm Catholic, but I don't believe that marriage is the key to a successful relationship.
To happiness. No, neither do I.
I know more people that are miserable and married than I know that are happy. Everybody I know that's married is miserable.
I agree.
I could tell you some horrific stories. It's like most people I know that are married are miserable, and it's and a lot of people I know that got married really young. I'm talking like maybe 22, 23, 24. They're alcoholics. And there's nothing left to look forward to.
You're making it sound very bleak, though, because I have a lot of friends that got married young, and they're still together, and they're still very happy.
Okay, there's also that side, but I'm giving you the truth of what I see, and the majority of people that I see, just going from judging from my place, they're miserable. They're not happy. That's not to say that you can't be happy, but in my case, everything I've seen, they're not happy. They're not happy. They got married too young, and they just have nothing to look forward to.
I just think it's the way of just you get in a rut, you get stuck in a rut.
You get stuck in a rut,
and
right.
you just
Too
don't
young.
know how to. Yeah, and you just don't. I think Jenni and Roger, and I hope Snooki and Jionni don't get that, but I just think Jenni and Roger are just stuck in a rut, and they do not know how to get out.
I just also think people in their 20s forget that they're still your 30s and they're still
You're
your 40s.
still
You don't die
so
at
young.
40.
Yeah, you're still so young.
You're so young at 40. So can you picture yourself? You need to think of these things. Can you picture yourself in 10 years being like 34, 35 and married, and then in 20 years being 45 and married 20 years? That is nuts. I mean, if people
I find this so interesting because, like, literally 20 years ago, before people were living till they were 90 or 80, people would be like, okay, you're 20, it's time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think of it now, what you're saying, though, is you could still get married when you're 40 and then have a kid when you're 42.
Of course.
But then you think about it, okay, well, you're never going to see your grandkids grow if you do that.
No,
'Cause
that's not the case.
I'm
not saying I'm not saying have kids at 40. I'm saying if you I believe a good time is also obviously when you're ready, but I don't think there's an age like, okay, you're 36, go ahead. But I feel like you should at least wait till you're 30 because I feel like there's a lot of growing that you have to do in your 20s.
I agree, and I just think your career, and there's so many different ways, and if you start a I just don't want to
rush.
Get into that.
No, I just don't think you should rush unless you feel like there's that. Listen, this is it. Like you know it 100%, and you're just totally 100% on board. But if there's the slightest inclination that you might be really freaked out when you wake up one day and you're 37 and you've been married for 12 years, then I wouldn't do it because once you do it, you don't want to go. Who wants to get divorced? You know. And I just think your 20s are, for me at least, I've grown so much just in like 2 years. I feel
Seriously.
like so much.
Yeah.
I don't even remember being 18. I'm like, I've grown, just my 20s are a huge, these have been a very monumental years for me just in terms of growing mentally. And I feel like it's just, I wouldn't want to take away that time in my life because I know this sounds so cliche, but we're only married, we're only young ones, you know?
So speaking of things that are terrible ideas, they tried to build the swing set.
Yeah. That was so
Hell of a
stupid. Way to get
segue.
back onto it. That was really good. Way to get back onto the topic of the show.
I think a lot of people listening to this, though, I think they are. I think this is the kind of stuff that most, a lot of girls listening to this, and I think it's definitely interesting to talk about that. But yeah, let's talk about a swing set because that's also very interesting. And we do want to mention that last week you hated the hat. We didn't mention that.
Oh my God,
you
the
hated
hat.
Snooki's hat.
That's like
Sorry, I didn't
that's
mention
like
that.
weddings off. If you were a
The
freaking
white hat she had on.
snapback with a veil,
But that shows how much Jionni loves her, even with the hat, terrible snapback with a veil on it.
It
and he
reminded me
still
so
was
much
like,
of.
oh.
It reminded me so much of the what was the movie my Father of the Bride when she's wearing the sneakers down the aisle, so cute with the shoelaces. I was like thinking of her.
I have a friend, real quick. I have a friend that they all wore Converse at
That's
the wedding.
awesome.
It was
That's
so freaking
cute.
cute. Everybody, she wore it. The bridesmaids, the groom, everyone. It was
I love
really cute.
sneakers. I love sneakers.
But back to the swing set.
Yes. Okay. So typically, I do remember when I went to pick up my first swing set with my parents, and those companies will provide people to build them for you. They obviously opted to do it themselves I think maybe for
the
entertainment
show,
value.
yeah.
But that's one of those things where you definitely don't want to do that yourself and then put your child on it. It's a huge risk because do you remember
that could turn out really bad.
they fall apart. They've
Yeah.
fallen apart before. I remember hearing something about on the news somebody's whole treehouse fell apart because they did it themselves.
Yeah, that's
Back in my
terrible
hometown.
idea.
So
That's something you should definitely invest money in.
Yes.
To get someone built for you.
yes, I think they were planning on that anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, in getting into the treehouse, just quickly want to go on. I know we already talked about this, but how cute was Roger with the baby? I can't get over
Yeah.
it. I think that was just the nicest thing. I did not expect that. He didn't
was,
mind getting
and-
up early or
No,
anything.
he didn't. And I think it just shows that he's kind of ready. He said he wasn't ready, but
He said he would not drug her. Oh my gosh. He said he would get her drunk and then drug her.
but it's also if you get pregnant tomorrow, you have 9 months to prepare. It's not like the baby's just gonna pop up next week.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Yeah. 9 months is not that long though when you think about it.
Yeah, but it's time to mentally prepare and be like, okay, now there's gonna be a kid here.
That's why it sucks when what's that show? I didn't know I was pregnant when those people go and they think they're going to take
yeah.
a pee and then a baby comes out of their and they're like, what the fuck? It's like, did you ever see? I didn't know I was pregnant. These people that are naturally like overweight and they never knew they were pregnant, and then they go on the toilet and they pee out their baby or poop out their baby, and there's a child.
They
in the
don't poop
toilet.
out their baby ever.
No, not poop out, but they're just
What a
they're-
shock.
No, but they're going to the bathroom with the thought of going to the bathroom, and then
And then you have a kid.
a baby comes out. So
Yeah, that's like
I think it's really
traumatizing.
good if you know from the first month that you're pregnant because then you have 9 months to prepare. Otherwise, you just look down and you're like, hey, scary.
down with baby.
Well, I think we should probably get into predictions because we'll just go all night, you know?
All right, let's do that.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
I know we didn't get into that other thing. We'll do that next week.
cool.
All right, Charlotte.
Well,
Boom.
I hope that Roger gets laid
I hope he makes love.
in Gianni's lingo, gets laid after they make French food next week.
Listen, French food.
I guess French people, like, they're feeling the love, like, pretend they're in Paris, do some
I know,
role play.
yeah. French food is very romantic. So that could really help.
It
Yeah.
could. And like, everyone sees France as being romantic, so I think that's a good food to set the mood, and maybe some oysters. They're not French though.
Fish
well, like
never
oysters.
get.
No, they have.
I know. They
you know?
do. Yeah. They apparently, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Apparently aphrodisiac.
That's what would we do without you?
Yeah, seriously. Thank God. I predict that they are going to. I think for the holiday season, they're going to show them in a better light. I think they're gonna. This will rekindle a lot of their relationship. I think.
Yeah, I think maybe they'll go to a romantic dinner. Hopefully.
Yeah. I just
nice
want to see
romantic
them.
night. Yeah.
Really getting along.
I agree.
And I want to see both of them feeling
Being
loved.
intimate.
So where can we find you, Charlotte?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Road to Making It.
Okay, and you can find me at Miss Ashley Daniels on Twitter and Instagram. So thanks so much
All
for
right.
bearing with us tonight.
Let us know what you guys think about those subjects, because those are interesting
I know.
subjects that we touched on.
I love to know what girls know, what
Yeah.
girls think versus guys.
And
too.
guys. Oh, yeah.
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 All right, thanks guys.
All right.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.